All right, well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's community meeting. As always, if you'd like to, please sign in on the community meeting notes and add any project updates or any other business that you'd like to discuss. And at the end, we'll have a chance for introductions if there's anyone new to the community that would like to say hi. This might be a short meeting today. I don't see a lot of updates on the agenda. So I think just to kind of kick things off, for the services and for cosign, I think the only update that might be relevant would be an update to the BuildKite integration for Folcio. This was onboarded a little while ago before some of the work had been done to standardize the claims for CI platforms like GitHub or GitLab. So BuildKite is actively adding a few more extensions that come from their identity tokens. So that should be very useful. It'll align it nicely with some of the other CI platforms also. I don't believe there were any updates for Recore. Were there any updates for cosign anybody was aware of? Hector, was there anything you wanted to talk about for cosign?
No, nothing, thanks.
All righty. Well, then we'll move right along. Do we have anybody working on clients right now who wanted to provide any updates? Doesn't look like it. I'll give two quick updates then from recent memory. Sigstore's Rust client, I think, is actively working on a 1.0 release. They're talking a bit about what are the requirements for a 1.0 release. So you can check out the issue there. I can link that in the community notes shortly. And then Sigstore Python, I believe, has a release candidate for a 2.0 release, which I think is focused on improvements to the API surface for the client. There's also been some work done in the Sigstore bundle repository around generating a release for Rust, and then also a JSON schema specification of the bundle format. So if you don't want to use protobuf, you can use JSON instead. That I think is mostly stable. I think we're ironing out a few bugs in that, but that should be good to use very shortly. Were there any other updates for clients? Alrighty, moving right along then. Infrastructure. Paul, were there any updates that you had?
No, I don't think there's any major updates.
Alrighty. Well, then we'll just keep going. Docs. I don't see Patrick or Lisa, so I'm not sure there's any updates there then. The only one that I'm aware of is they are currently working on figuring out how to replatform the docs onto Hugo. One thing you might notice is if you go to docs.sigstore.dev, it's going to remain static and it's not going to pick up updates. So right now, our recommendation is if you need to access the documentation, do so in incognito. We're aware of this caching issue, and replatforming onto Hugo will hopefully resolve that caching issue. So that'll be coming soon. I will check real quick. Lisa, I was just talking about docs. Were there any updates that you wanted to give?
Yes, sorry, just on time. So yeah, Patrick is not available today, but he's doing a lot of work on a replatform, and I've seen, I I've seen a preview of his site. We're just waiting to merge in John's work. That is the re-info architecting of the site, which I think a few of us wanted to just, check out locally and make sure everything looks good. And then once that gets merged in, the re-platform piece will start working. We'll work on that. But he has a lot, he has a preview available. So he tested it. It's just a matter of bringing in those new changes.
That's really great to hear. I'm really excited to see that land. I know that the caching's been a sticking point for everybody. So
Yes, me too. I'm glad also.
awesome. Are there any other project updates anybody wanted to shout out?
Eat your pasta.
Alrighty. Continuing on. Outreach and events. I didn't have anything new to call out. The two that we talked about last time were the CAT Summit for Transparency and Packaging Con. Packaging Con submissions just closed yesterday. I know that the OpenSSF working group for package repositories, I believe, submitted a talk. If anybody else did, best of luck. I think there'll be a really, really exciting conference in this space. Were there any other events anybody wanted to call out? All righty. Well, we don't have any other business written on the agenda right now, so I'll wait 1 minute to see if anybody has anything they want to chat about.
Hayden, I have a question about GoTAF and what is the progress? How are we going to solve what's the regression? So yeah, wanted to hear a bit more.
Yeah, I can definitely give an update there. So for folks who aren't aware, so GoTough just cut a new release from 0.5 to 0.6. This came with a breaking change that was a bit hard to chase down. So thank you to the Tough community who dug into this a little bit. We noticed when we tried to apply the update, or Dependabot tried to apply the update, we were getting CI failures. The root cause is that we had originally generated a root with non-compliant key format. So the Tough spec defines that keys should be specified in a PEM format. These were specified as hex-encoded keys. This was updated, but it was done in such a way that we tried to make it backwards compatible. Now, concurrently, another change was made where we also switched another non-compliant string that specified when a key is of the ECDSA signing algorithm to a different string specifies the same thing. That was not applied to this fix for these hex-encoded keys. So when that update was applied, basically loading in our Tough root failed because it wasn't able to find a verifier to verify these hex-encoded keys. The fix is, there's two things we can do, and we're going to do both of them. One is GoTough has a patch out, or has a PR out, and it's going to cut a patch very soon with a fix. So for this backwards compatible verifier, it will load in both the non-compliant and compliant ECDSA string. The other fix is that we're going to go update our embedded targets and root metadata for Sigstore clients for Go. We should do the same for the other clients, but that's not as pressing because GoTough was the only thing that was non-compliant. So we're going to do both of these. We'll cut a new release for Sigstore, and then with GoTough also cutting a new release. That should fully mitigate the issue. But just to note, there's no current issue with the clients right now. It's just being able to update to the latest version of GoTough. Thanks for asking about that. Were there any other questions? Cool. Then we've come to the portion where if you'd like to say hi and you're new to the community, feel free to do so. Alrighty. Well, this will be a short and sweet meeting then. I hope everybody has a great week.
Oh,
Yes, Dimitri.
one more. My AirPods were not connected. Sorry. I want to mention a couple of issues that I'd like to discuss or hopefully make progress on. So I could add them to the. I'll paste them here. So one is for the cosine. I wonder what would you feel whether currently you need to pass the certificate chain, so kind of the leaf and then intermediate. I wonder if you could extend it so that you could pass some kind of bundle, like what we would like to use as a bundle that has several CA certificate root certificates. So if you are interested, maybe look at this issue and comment or pin me. And another one is for the time authority. So this one I'd like to modify kind of the health check. So we kind of figure out the conceptual solution, but if you know how it works, like all this code generation and so on, I'd love to have some help with this. So basically, I need to pass the 2 timestamp authority or a parameter so that I could make like a pin to so that on the HTTP server only pin could be served. So this for health check, I wouldn't have to start a whole server without MTLS or without HTTPS.
Yeah, we can definitely follow up. I think offline about that would be best. For the cosine issue, Z Newman had some thoughts on that. So let's tag him on that. I definitely think making some progress would be good on it. Though one thing to just be aware of is we definitely want to not have too many ways of providing routes without starting to fix things up. So we can follow up on that. And let's chat more offline about the timestamping one. I think we had talked a little bit about some proposals for this. I think your suggestions sounded good. If you have some PRs ready, feel free to send those and maybe we can chat more on the PR.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
Awesome. Was there anything else anybody wanted to chat about? Great. Well, I hope everybody has a great week then.